Because in Wisconsin, it would get no exaggeration, -20. They would cancel school because it's so cold.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was like, -20, like just negative below freezing. And I was like, and then no, I lived there. And it's 32, keep going 0. So it's 32 degrees below freezing of water, and then 20 degrees below 0.
What a way of life.
So it is horrendous. Okay, here we go. Jonathan, I'm ready.
I am ready.
Let's do this. Super excited. I want to make sure my logos come up nice. Can you see my lovely...
Dang logo? Oh, no.
Oh, the Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah.
Here we go. The TV's off for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So actually...
It's just for the start.
Okay.
Is there a bathroom on this floor?
Yes.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Guess in the West show number 5. Let's go. Who's that? Rick Montgomery. Welcome to the show. All right, everybody. It helps me to tell you what we're going to be doing here. We're going to start it off. Here's a little disarray. Whatever. This is how my face looks. It's how the hair is. It's thinner than what I want it to be. Oh, there you go. Jonathan, we're ready to roll.
Awesome.
Just talking to myself.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, I'll count you down. We'll start radio intro, then bring you up.
Let's do it.
Cool. And then I'll let you control when to do commercial.
Yes.
I'll give you I'll tell you when it's been 10 minutes. I'll just raise up my
Yes.
myself, and then just whenever you want commercial, I'll go. Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's good to know that Jonathan's going to let me know when to cut off and break for that commercial. Sometimes when I get into a mix of things, I start not rambling, but I can really just get into mode, and I might forget how long it's been. And so in this kind of scenario, you have to be able to stop with that. So just as for those of you joining the Facebook Live that maybe weren't watching the vlog, this is Guest in the West show, episode number 5. We're going to be hitting it first with the reason why we exist as Guests in the West and what we're doing here, and then we'll hit on an intro of why it's a great place to work, live, and play. Here we go. Jonathan, just give me the thumbs up. Take 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Guest in the West show. This is episode number 5. This is Sherman, your host from Mutual of Omaha. Excited again to invite you here, whether you listen to this on podcast, you're watching this in the video format, to Guest in the West show. And what it is, it's a collaboration between the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, who have invited their members to be able to participate in sharing their story of why they exist and what they're doing, what they're excited about, and why they're members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And of course, now media studios and radio, and allowing us to be able to be in their space. We have Jonathan, our wonderful producer, thankful for him getting up here early to be able to make sure that we can make this podcast and show a reality and bring it to your doorstep. And so let me just give you the why of what we do and why we do it. So let's first start with the vision and why of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Again, their tagline is "In Business for Business." And so what their vision is to be known and recognized as Houston's best and most active business champion, enabling business growth and business success, to promote West Houston as a great place to work, live, and play. And so on that backbone, I want to be able to just have a little bit of what we call a Houston highlight, if you will. I'll bring you some of the stats of what's awesome about Houston. For those of you that are living here, you already know it's a great place to work, live, and play, but you might not be fully participating on all the wonderful things that exist out there. And so one of the areas that I want to talk about most is food this morning. So on the backbone of this, though, is really from the global diversity that exists in Houston. So Houston, unbeknownst to a lot of people, is home to the most diverse city in the United States, which then makes it one of the most diverse cities in the world, right? So if you and I were to go to Beijing, we go to Shanghai, majority of people there, pretty close to 90% are going to be Chinese. You come here in Houston, you'll find Chinese, you'll find Vietnamese, you'll find Indian, you'll find American, you'll find Mexican, you'll find Cubans, Hispanics. Let's just call it the cornucopia of humanity, the plethora of ethics and cultures. And with all that comes their beautiful culture and their delicious food. And so you'll go from West Houston to the south to the north, and you'll find an amazing diversity of food. If you want tacos, you can have all you want. You want pho, we have tons of it. We even have a small little Chinatown. But because that Chinatown has grown, there's now Filipino restaurants open there, Vietnamese, Thai food. It is just an abundance of Asian culture in the small little Chinatown that exists in our kind of southwest area of Houston. It's actually not too far from here at Now Media Studios. And so with all this diversity of culture comes a lot of this authentic and delicious food. And so I'd encourage anyone that's a Houston West Chamber of Commerce member to check out your membership online, look at the various members, search through restaurants, and go patron some of our wonderful members. At the same time, recognize that there are a multitude of different restaurants out there that you can go and participate in. Me coming from Wisconsin, where there is just a lot of what we call bar food. So a lot of fried cheese curds, which, by the way, you can fry cheese. Burgers, brats, hot dogs, and the like. But what you come down here is you get a whole multitude of various foods. There's not a food group that I have yet to not find down here in Houston. So I encourage you to check it out. One of the things that I was just telling Jonathan before we started is that when you look at the overall employment, about 2.7 million people are employed here in Houston. 277,000 are in the food prep and food business. That is 9.3% of our workforce is in the food business. And so we appreciate basically almost 10% of our population who are hustling and working hard to make sure that we have those tasty and delicious meals. So get out to Houston. I would encourage anybody that already lives in Houston, get away from your normal track of food. If you've never had Thai food, go grab some. If you've never had pho, go get some. If you want to get some real authentic Chinese food, you can find it all over. If you don't know what dim sum is, you should go check it out and get you some. Oh, what? All right, so Houston, great place to live, work, and play. We're going to shift now to what I'm going to call a little motivational Monday on Wednesday. A little motivational segment, motivational minute, but it's not really going to be a minute. I'm pulling this from a little bit of story time here. Let me be a little storyteller for you. Aesop's Fables. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this is Hercules and the Waggoner. So let me just share with you this story. There once was a Waggoner who was driving a cart with a heavy load. It had been raining and the road was muddy. The horse heaved the cart along, and the Waggoner guided him onto the firmest parts of the road. Despite this, the wheels sank in the mud. The Waggoner set his shoulder to the cart and urged the horse forwards. But the more they heaved, the deeper the wheels sank. So the Waggoner prayed to the ancient hero Hercules, who is famous for his great strength. And he is. Hercules, please help me, he cried. You called, came a booming voice. The Waggoner spun around to see a giant of a man with a lion's skin wrapped around his shoulders. Hercules, for it was he, said, don't just stand there. I'm not going to do it for you. Set your shoulder to the wheel for one more push, and this time I'll help. So the moral of the story is, fate helps those who help themselves. And so on that basis, on this thought process, I had just an amazing conversation with one of our successful members in business, with those at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Had a great conversation with him, and what I was reminded is the value of when your drive of work ethic, when your intelligence, and when your networks align, amazing thing happens. Amazing things will happen. And so with that, I would tell anybody that has talent, to go all in on your talents. A lot of times we get stuck on this idea that I need to focus on my strengths, that if you're really analytical, that you need to be a big picture person. If you're a big picture person, you should know all the details. That if you're really good at organization, you should be also good at sales. I think that is just garbage. It's a load of garbage. You do not need to be a fully diverse person. Let's think about athletes for a second. Nobody tells Aaron Rodgers he should go run with the ball more. His job is to orchestrate what's happening out there. He should be throwing the ball because that's what he can do best. Nobody tells LeBron James, hey, go work on that golf game. Tiger Woods is killing it, and you are very good on the golf course. And nor does anybody tell Tiger you should try to have a whack at billiards because that is where it's at. Because he's got a skill set. But yet, for whatever reason in our lives, we think that we need to get this totally diverse personality and we need to be everything to everybody. No, you don't. All of us is given specific skills and strengths, and you need to go all in on that. At the same time, we can't rely on our talents without hard work. Many of us know an extremely intelligent person, but never amounted to much. Someone that had all the talents in the world, but allowed things of life and excuses to get in the way. But when we match hard work with that talent, it emerges. And so this wonderful member that I was talking to, as he was going through his education, realized very quickly that what he's learning at college isn't giving him what he needs to. And he decided to do something that he was passionate about, and was working there for a short time, and was telling people, in particular one person, about what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, where his passion truly lied. And it was completely in a different industry. And this person, very intelligent, said, you know what, you should be talking to someone that I know. And introduced him to someone else. So again, here's that personal network working for itself. Here he's working with one person. That person knows someone else. And so she makes the introduction to her. He and that woman hit it off. They decide to become business partners. And so what happens, though, is he has in his mind, it's not a fully thought out business plan, right? But in his mind, he has an inkling of some different ways that he wants to approach this particular industry. And when he finally does that hard work, he works 6-7 days a week. He's basically on call all the time, but he loves what he's building. And then you match all that hustle and drive with his intelligence. Now, a lot of his intelligence isn't found in a book. It's experience related. He's definitely one of those that learns by doing, and is phenomenal at what he does. And then finally, you meet that network. That network, as you all are familiar with, that it's not so much what you know, it's who you know. Opportunities are going to be brought to you by people that you know in your own personal network. And so if you don't know people, or if you think that you don't have many opportunities, you don't know enough people. People always wonder, oh wow, I wish I got on the first parts of Facebook or Uber or Lyft or Airbnb. You didn't know those people. If they knew you, then they would be ready for you. At the same time, if you don't have the resources, aka money, they're not going to come to you either. If you don't have the talents that they want to be able to tap into those talents of yours and know that you have talents in a particular area of expertise, then again, they don't know that you exist, or they won't be coming to you. So opportunities knock on the doors of those that are ready. Those that have shown that they know things, shown that they can give value, shown that they can bring skills, resources, talents, and hard work, and be able to deliver. Execute, in my mind, is one of the most powerful words in business, as is consistency. Those that have the ability to do on a consistent basis, day in and day out, will get to where they want to go. Recently, my son had asked me. He's 12 years old, and I have in my office. I have a 35-pound dumbbell, and so we'll talk about why I do that in another episode. But basically, what it is for me, and he asked, Dad, when will it be that I can curl a 35-pound dumbbell like you? And I said, well, let me tell you where it starts. It starts at around 14 years old. And you start lifting, and you do that about 3 to 4 days a week, and you do that until age 19, and you take protein, and then you come back at. I took a break when I was living in the Philippines for 2 years. I didn't lift weights there, and then at 21, again 3 to 5 days. No, at that point it was like 5 to 6 days a week, lifting. And then in your 20s, still do the same thing. have a 25-pound dumbbell at your office. And when you're on conference calls, do curls. And then you'll realize that it starts going up. And so the reason why I bring that up is because there wasn't one moment that all of a sudden I was like, boom, I'm lifting this heavy weight. And I know that some people are listening to this like, oh man, he only does 35, I do 45s and 50s. Good for you. And so that's the idea, is that for a lot of us, when it comes to business opportunities, they only come and present themselves when we're ready. They say that there truly isn't necessarily luck, but we get more lucky when we work harder. So if you find yourself, I would say anybody, whether you're just entering the workforce and you're trying to find out what you're good at and what you do, go all in on what you enjoy doing and what you're already good at. And allow what you're gonna do in the real world or your real job to find itself. But then match that talent with a ton of hard work. And those two things, figure out how to network with the right people. It's not knowing thousands of people, it's knowing the one right person that can get you introduced. And again, we're thankful that Now Media Studio has opened up their radio station to us and being able to not only loan us, Jonathan, our wonderful producer, being able to put this together, but also that they've allowed the distribution of this material for our members and also for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. We're grateful for Devyn, who's going to be on the show here shortly, for all of her organization that she's done in making this show a reality. I know that she went to Jeannie and the board and presented the story, gave more details. I'm someone that just has a great idea, and so she followed with all the details and made it happen, and continues to make it happen. She organizes these week in and week out, and so we're grateful for all the people behind the scenes that have made this happen. We've had some wonderful positive feedback. We appreciate those that are online, that are watching this and sharing this. We appreciate all that you're doing. So we were going to come back and have Devyn on the show. We're going to do our member spotlight. Recognize those new members that have recently joined the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to talk to you about what we can expect, not only at the end of the year, because we're still here in 2019, but we know in basically about 14 days, we're into the new year in 2 weeks. Everybody, what'll be 2020? The future's here. So we're going to quickly take a break and hear a word from our sponsor. Let's get Devyn on the show. All right, Devyn. All right, everybody, we're going to bring Devyn on. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Sound okay?
Yeah, sounds great. It'll be great.
Sherman, you're on a different level this morning. Did you chug that bang?
I haven't even started it yet.
That's great. That's just great.
I'm just excited to be here. Look at you all festive.
Yeah, we have our staff party today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should come by.
Did you do like a white elephant or something?
No, we didn't do white. We should have.
Yeah.
Okay.
How close are you?
I never know.
Well, just know that I'm screaming basically in here. Could you hear me across the way outside of the room?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so loud.
So it's been 15 minutes. So if you wanted to be a 30-minute show, then
Yeah, it's gonna be a shorter show.
Yeah, I'll be short.
Yeah. Okay. So you have one more section of 15, and then we're done. Okay.
I like it.
Cool. And we're about to start.
Oh,
That'll be
it's
awesome.
live.
It is.
Forgot about that.
Just Facebook. All right, everybody. Sherman back here from Mutual of Omaha with Guest in the West show. Again, a collaboration between Now Media Radio, digital media, and also the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And I'm super excited to bring Devyn back on the show because she's really the organizer of everything that's happening here. So you get to see all this. It seems all, somewhat organized and what I'm doing here. And again, that's just the leverage of skill and talent where I'm bringing my best self and Devyn, with all her organizational skills, is bringing her best self. All right, Devyn. Well, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, thank you. And I'm glad you think I'm organized because really the one that's known for her organization is Karina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm flattered right now.
Awesome. This is wonderful. So shout out to Karina and all her wonderful skills and
Yep.
talents as well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so one of the cool things I just wanted to wrap up with was, so I just recently came from the Rise and Grind at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. So let people that don't know, it's a morning networking event.
Yeah, it's like speed dating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so one of the cool things that Lydia of Action Coach did today was she brought forth one of these bingos.
Yeah.
And so you're basically going around talking to people, seeing who's new, who's a prospective member, maybe who's worked in their profession for 5 years, and so you're trying to meet some different people. So it's just a really fun way to be able to get to know folks. Karina did the same thing at the Western Holiday Social last week.
Yeah, so much fun. It's a really good way to get out there and meet people, especially gets you out of your comfort zone too.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, right. And that's where I think for a lot of people, they just need to surrender themselves to this,
Yep.
right? And it's even if you don't fill it all up, it's better that you go talk to a stranger. And it's okay in business to talk to a stranger, unlike what mom and dad told us when we were kids. Don't talk to strangers. It's totally fine.
Complete opposite here.
So that was today. Why don't you give an idea for the audience what's left in 2019?
Well, we don't have a lot in 2019 that's left. Let's see. I guess all we have left really is today's Wednesday. So we have the Business Growth Workshop. That's today from 10:30 to 1 at Action Coach Office Training Room. So all that information can be found online. You go to hwcoc.org/events and you can look at it on our calendar. We do have a lot coming up in 2020 though, so I am excited about that. Monica, our newest marketing assistant, made this beautiful little glimpse of January for 2020. This can be found on our Facebook page. So we have a lot coming up in New Year's. If you've never been a part of our Governmental Affairs Committee, I encourage everyone just to try this out. Right now we are focusing on our legislative recap, so that's going to be January 30th with a lot of the different legislators in the Houston area. Right now we have about 3 of them confirmed. I cannot remember their names on the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, that's the beauty of the website.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
HWCOC to get all the details. And I know something that we're very excited about that Dick had came and spoke with us about in the past episodes was the West Houston Outlook happening here on January 24th.
Yes.
Which is also Carrie Warner's birthday. So we don't want to forget that this should not mask the wonderful celebration of her birth.
This is for Carrie. This is in celebration of Carrie, in other words.
So we're going to get all the business people together and talk about this. So why don't you give an idea of what people can expect? We haven't been to this
Yeah, so this
before.
is actually going to be a very interesting kind of economic outlook for 2020. We're going to have Jesse Thompson is his name?
Yep.
Is it Jesse Thompson? Yeah, Jesse Thompson. He's the senior business economist for the Houston branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. So he's going to give the economic outlook on Houston. And it looks like things are kind of shifting downwards. So it's going to be very interesting to hear what he has to say. We're going to have a lot of leading experts in healthcare, marketing, technology, and finance. So Amerant Bank is also sponsoring this event, presenting it. And they are going to be the host for the Finance Business Forum. So everything that all these guys have to say, it's going to be very great. It's going to be very interesting.
And that's a really interesting point that you bring up, because I think a lot of times in business it's easy to be, hey, if it's always going well, this is what we're going to do. But if there's a little bit of a pullback that we kind of feel right now economically, what do we do? How can we adjust? How can we start looking at maybe our payroll, have a look at not laying people up, but there's some different things that we can be doing. Maybe in our healthcare, do we go 50-50? Do we not do bonuses, or do we change things up now so that way we're ready for the future? And I know that's where kind of marketing's coming in, is how can you, if you are spending some dollars, do it more wisely?
And that's exactly what the marketing forum is about. So I'll read just what the marketing forum is about. This one's going to be probably one of my favorite because I love marketing. I majored in marketing. So a slowing economy is a possibility in 2020 and beyond. In today's forum, we will explore marketing tools that every business can use to reach more people with their message in a cost-effective manner. So it's all about spending your money, your tools wisely.
And that'll be really, really powerful.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing, I think we're still looking for sponsors for the
Yep.
Who.
We're almost sold out, so we have a few more tables left to sell. If you are wanting to come, I highly recommend it. This is great just also for just client relations and giving back to your clients and hosting them, bringing them along with you. So you can get a table for 10 for just $1,000.
Yeah, not bad. At the same time, can people get individual tickets if, let's say, they
Yes.
can't fill a table of 10?
Yes. So member tickets are $89, and if you are not a member, then you can get that for $119.
Okay, so this is open those to that aren't necessarily members or maybe prospective members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, absolutely. We encourage everyone to come to this. It's a huge event. It starts out with just a light breakfast and a little bit of networking. Then our business forums open up, or our expos open up. And then the business forums start, let's see, around 9 a.m. So that goes on from 9 a.m. till 12, and then the luncheon opens.
Great. And so I know that the agenda is already available if you want to have a look at it, see if that's something you want to do as an organization or as an individual and participate. I know last year when we went, you just had a wonderful time learning and connecting. I want to say there was almost 450 some odd people there last
and
year.
You can expect about the same amount. It's huge.
We're hosting it over at the Norris Conference Center
In
again?
City Center, yep.
Okay. And so that's something that we're really excited about, January 24th. Definitely want to make sure that everyone has their eyes on it. Right now, we're basically a month away, a little over a month away from that event. So definitely something you want to put on your calendar for January 2020. And that's one thing that I would say from a tip standpoint that I do, Devyn. You guys sent out the various contacts with us. But basically what I'll do 2 months or 3 months ahead is I'll look on my calendar and I'll already start registering for things. Because a lot of these big things you guys have already planned for months in advance.
Yeah, and they sell out quickly too. Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I would encourage anybody, if you belong to the Houston West Chamber of Commerce or any kind of organization, you want to be able to make sure that you're planning your days around it. So a lot of times I'll run into people and I'm like, hey, I haven't met you before. And like, oh, I've been a member for the Houston West Chamber for 2 years. And I'm like, how have I not met you? Right? How is this possible?
You've literally met everyone.
Yes. And if I don't know you, why don't you know me? I feel like a rock star. That's the whole idea. I want to shake hands and kiss babies.
Well, you're definitely one of our biggest advocates, so we really enjoy and appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you, Devyn. It goes two ways. So one of the things that I wanted to just share today on this final episode of the year is, why did we at Mutual of Omaha decide to join?
Yeah.
And so a little over a year.
Let's flip the roles here.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to join?
Put me on the couch. All right. So what happened is my wife and I, we decided we're going to move the family here, close to family. So we moved down. Job was not here. It was still in Wisconsin. And so I started interviewing, got the job with Mutual of Omaha, and I said, you know what? I need to meet people. Because all I know is mom and dad and my brother, sister-in-law, and their family. And basically ninth graders, middle schoolers, they can't help you network, just so you know, in business.
No, I don't imagine so, no.
and so what I did is I went to the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, went to an event, and there was just a really nice feeling of a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And just at one event, there was just this feeling of, hey, people are friendly, they're getting to know me, and so I came back and I told the managing partner, I said, hey, we got to join. He's like, all right, let's do it. So kudos to Matt and being able to just jump all in on some of my craziness here. And then I went to an orientation, and at the orientation,
You
Carrie,
probably haven't missed one since.
I don't think so. But Carrie said, you should go to all the different committees and see what they're about. And so I said, I will do that, except government affairs. So they still bust me to go.
I know.
But
I know Tim likes to give you a hard time.
he does, as the guy at Action Coach should. And so what I did was I went to basically everything that I could to get a feel of, hey, does this seem like something that I would want to participate in? I went a few times to the golf committee, did some marketing there, but I wasn't all in, so I wouldn't say I was a member of the committee for that particular one. When I went to the Houston West Economic Development, that's what it was called before, WEDS, I think. And so that one for me was just a real eye opener. I brought a friend of mine that prospective member. He's a videographer. And so we just talked to a bunch of people, and I introduced him to people that I knew. And so it was great just because there was a bunch of vendors on the outside, and then we could go to the different breakout sessions and hear from different experts on a variety of different topics.
And this was so educational. It's very powerful.
Yeah, and then after that, I would go to some ribbon cuttings, and they saw that, hey, this guy seems to be pretty active. He seems to like what he's doing. And so for us, I knew that it was a bit of a long range. And so for us, if I go full circle now, we've been a member just a little over a year.
And now you're an ambassador, right?
Yes, and now I'm an ambassador in sharing the story. So for me, that's just an opportunity to help people leverage their membership.
Yeah.
So that way they don't become someone that says, oh yeah, I joined a year ago or I joined 5 years ago. I don't really know why I go. I don't really go to those things. And the problem is that they call it those things because they went to, let's say, one networking after hours, and they didn't find the traction there because they should have gone to the West Houston Outlook.
You know, that's a very good point. As a prospective member, you get to come to 3 of our calendar events complimentary. So if you see any of these that say like complimentary event, we encourage you just to get out there. And it's also a good point, you coming from Wisconsin. If you're relocating to a different state, city, what have you, it's so good to get out there and meet people. We're very friendly.
Yeah. And that's the culture of the West Houston Chamber of Commerce. Yep. Just everybody that's there, because they were new at one point and somebody was friendly to them and encouraged them to participate and belong, and then they come to strangers, and so it doesn't feel cliquey.
Yeah. We want to like sincerely help you grow your business. So we will sit down with you if you want to have a meeting with us. Karina and I, or myself, Carrie, even whoever. We will sit down and have that one-on-one with you to see what you want from this chamber and what we can do for you. And
that's been my experience, right? Is because as most businesses, we have a limited amount that we can spend on budgets and marketing, and then we have a limited amount of time to be able to allocate. And so I know when we've looked at different things, we were encouraged, oh, you should go then participate at this one. So I know when, so I went as an individual to the West Houston Outlook last year. And then when it came to sponsoring dollars, when I was talking to the chamber, they said, well, what do you want kind of exposure-wise? And so the best one for us last year was to do a sponsor at a hole. And so we had a table there. So as all the golfers went by, we got to know them. And so we had like a $75 golf bag that we gave away last year. So it was nice. So we collected, I think, like 26 business cards last year.
Yeah, golf is a lot of fun just to get out there too. It's a beautiful spring day. It's nice and airy. This year, I don't know if you know, Sherman, but we've actually decided on our date and venue.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is April 20th of 2020.
Okay.
Some may know that date as 420.
Yes.
You know, we'll kind of keep that hidden.
Yes. 420, 2020. It's the future.
But we do have a lot of CBD shops in our chamber, so who knows, they might be there.
Yes.
And it's going to be at Black Horse Golf Club in Cypress. So if you know anything about golf courses or golf clubs, it's one of the nicest in the Houston area. It's going to be very, very nice. So
wonderful.
We're really excited about that.
And we're excited to go golfing. So that's one of the partnerships that I think the team over at the chamber, they want to help you leverage your money, leverage your exposure. So they're not going to tell you to go sponsor everything.
No.
They're going to tell you to do it wisely.
If it's not right for you, If it's not the right event for you or your company and your business, we're not going to steer you in that wrong direction.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So very excited. I want to be able to just do a quick member shout out to the new members that recently joined the Texas CHL LTC training. We have the Primary Computer Science Inc., Entree Results, the McAdams at Memorial City, Jelvin's Candy Shop we had on not too long ago, Rooms to Go. I have a plaque for you, by the way. Reliant Business Products, Care Now Urgent Care, CP&Y Inc., Seafood Island, Beezer Homes, Air Products, and Chemicals Inc. So really want to welcome all those new members that recently joined. And of course, we want to be able to make sure that we do that every single episode of Guests in the West, be able to recognize those wonderful members that decide to become a member. And so if you want to get on, you're listening to this podcast, you're watching this video, if you want to come on the show, we're going to take a little break here because of we run on Wednesdays. And so the 25th is a national holiday. It's Christmas for some of you that don't know, December 25th. And then, of course, New Year's, the chamber's also closed, and so are we. It's your birthday, the 1st. A newborn baby on New Year's. All right, but not this year. I mean, it's been a few years since.
Yeah, a few years.
And then so we'll be starting this back up January 8th.
Yep.
And again, you can reach out to Devyn. We'll have Jonathan put up her contact info.
There it is.
Boom. Get in with Devyn. There you go. Events at hwcoc.org. For those that are listening.
Number. Very easy.
Yeah, it is really easy to remember. So she will help you get on the show. She'll send you all the info about getting on the show, and we can have you and promote your business and share your story with the world.
I want to get all of our members on here. This is awesome.
Yeah, I think this is a ton of fun. So I'm very excited about all the positive feedback that we've gotten. So thanks again, Devyn, for being a real big backbone to all this.
Thank you, Sherman. Thank you for being the face of this project.
Yeah.
I'm just behind the scenes.
You're welcome. I enjoy my face being out there. And I apologize for those of you that might hear me on the podcast and then see the video and go, whoa, I did not expect that face. It's just what I have. All right, so final moments here. Want to be able to just do a member spotlight here. TWR Lighting Inc., Amberjack Estates, Memorial Oaks Funeral Home and Cemetery, PVF Specialty Inc., Classic Chevrolet Sugarland, American Intercontinental University Houston, Hannibal Industries Inc., Shaner Law Firm PLLC, the Houston Community College Northwest, West Park Communications LP, and Phillips 66. Thank you for your recent renewal of your membership here at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. The Houston West Chamber of Commerce cannot be in existence without you. As a final thought, so for me, as I look at the ROI, right, the return on my investment as an organization and my time is worth more than what we pay in membership.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say our return has been phenomenal. And the reason why is because we've met one person in particular that joined our organization. And just recently, we had an opening for a recruiter, and I reached out to an old connection of mine that was at the chamber. She actually was employed at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, and she joined our organization.
So it's come full circle.
So Julie, this phenomenal person, has joined our organization, and so for us, there is unlimited amount of value to these people as they joined our organization. Max is the other one, and now he brought in his wife, Monica. So for us, just those 3 individuals who have joined our organization.
And would that have happened
phenomenal.
Necessarily if you joined the chamber? Who's to say?
Yeah. For me, no. There's no way that I could have met these people inorganically out there in the cyberspace, right?
Yeah.
I needed some kind of structure, and so for Max, it was an after-hours networking event that luckily he had gone to, and then he and I just hit it off. And then, of course, Julie, she was an employee of the Houston West Chamber. And so for us, it's just been a wonderful opportunity. And so I would encourage anybody, if you're looking for talent or you don't know if you're going to be looking for talent in the future, it's all about who you know.
And you just never know. You never know who you're going to meet.
Yes. And so definitely, if you are looking at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce as a place to be able to partner up with, I would encourage you to do so immediately. And then number 2, reach out to Devyn and get your story heard here at the Now Media Studios. Because if you want to rent this studio and have Jonathan here, it's going to cost you quite not a ton of money, but it's not going to be for free. Okay? Because Jonathan doesn't work for peanuts at all. And this production, obviously the lighting, the studio, the mics.
Will not be possible without Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
If you can hear us.
Thank you, Now Media Radio.
Hear us.
And of course, thanks Houston West Chamber of Commerce. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in and listening. We really appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate your feedback. If there's anything that you'd like to see, any particular companies that you want to make sure that Devyn and I reach out to for 2020, we're very excited. Although the outlook looks like it might be a pullback, I'd say there's a lot of opportunity for everybody out there.
Keep going in this chamber.
Absolutely. So let's help businesses be in business. All right, everybody. This is Sherman from Mutual Omaha. We're out. Woo! All right. That was a good show.
That was a good one.
I think I say that every time, though.
Yeah.
That was a good show, everybody.
We gotta get you on.
Thanks for checking it out. Benny,
Yeah,
Mark,
we have to get
Matt,
you on.
Ash,
I gotta stay back
Rena.
here.
You guys have a fantastic day.
Everything.
Woo!